whom let them know from their own mouth that they are a Nazi. That, and then everyone will be able to agree. Yes, we should punch him.
Right.
But it's basically give them enough rope. And let them hoist themselves by their own petard.
Trump's not a racist. He just first came to public attention because the government had to sue him for not renting to black people. And then they had to sue him again.
Right. But not a racist. That's that's the important thing.
And it's like you're opening this because you got people hollering for reparations now. Well, you should give us reparations. I always ask people to say, okay, you should, if you want that. My thing is, well, what are you going to do with it once they give it to you? Because it's never going to be enough. And then guess what? They've turned you into a consumer anyway. And you're a consumer. You're just going to go and put it right back into, you're going to go and spend it. It's not like you're going to go and build it. Now, you're going to go build a business with it. It's different. If you're going to say, hey, all of us, let's take our money and build a business.
How about you put that money in Nigeria?
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, yeah. I got an email from a prince.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a great investment opportunity. Yeah. You just give him $5,000 as a deposit on the $1.3 million check that he will split with you. It's a great deal. Right. I think we should be looking into this.
No, but I would support, if reparations were paid, that there would be actual intelligent investment in Africa. That would be a way to
right. I mean, because right now, things. Even with our he's stirred, and I love the distractions. It's just like a big distraction. He's got people stirred up about so much crap that you're not really paying attention to what he's actually doing. Right. Because people are, he's got all this over here, and he's got this going over here, and you got Spicer trying to cover for him and everything, and he's sitting back loving the distraction that he's created, because that's what it is. It's a huge distraction, but you don't really see what he's doing and how he's going to try and finagle, and the people are going to get it. It's going to hit them upside their head.
Well, but the thing also is that. Even this is just one of the things that amazes me about the American public at large. Even when they announce that they are the administration announces that they are going to do the most evil shit possible, and then they start doing it, you still get people going, well, give them a chance. Give them a chance. When Bannon said that they want to tear down the administrative state, as Trump is filling his cabinet with not only the richest people in America, but some of the most incompetent people.
Right.
Where it's almost his cabinet almost serves the purpose of disproving the old adage that a fool and their money are soon parted, because these are some major fools with a shitload of money. But we're seeing this, and then the new Trump budget that they announced this week, which is it's going to cut the EPA by 31%, Department of Education by 13.5%, Department of Health and Human Services by 16.2%. It goes on and on and on, and these are all the programs that could truly, without quotes, make America great. If we invested in them. One of my favorite political movies, comedy, is Dave. The Kevin Kline movie where he's a lookalike for the president, and they bring him in, and he's got all these great policies that he wants to enact. Frank Langella, as I think he's the chief of staff in the movie, is trying to shut him down, going, no. When the president's away, we're actually running the ship here. And there's a great scene when Kevin Kline says, well, we could actually make, the budget, we can make this work. And Frank Langella is like, oh, okay, fine. Tell you what, if you can, taking the available money, if you can come to me with a budget, that's workable, we'll do it. And so Dave calls his accountant buddy, Charles Grodin, who comes in, and they basically take a look at what government spending is. They cut the fat and come up with an actual workable budget. Right. And I think a lot of people initially, you can sort of understand why, because they are deluded. A lot of people were thinking that this was what Trump was going to do. Oh, he's a businessman. He's going to come in.
The
and
fantasy.
He's going to
biggest con in the world.
And the really disturbing thing is that despite all of the evidence that's been presented to the contrary by the administration, people still believe that.
Right. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, this whole thing about draining the swamp, we have over 1,000 lobbyists in our in Congress. Well, in Washington right now. All these guys, they're lobbyists. They're lobbyists for who? Big corporations. You want to know, and they're trying to get. And what's the biggest battle? I've always said the biggest battle with capitalism is labor. You don't want to pay people. You don't want to make sure that they have certain things. I mean, they call the 50s and the 60s the greatest generation and all the stuff, World War II. That's gone, and they haven't figured out a way. These guys had their plan to get richer and to continue to get richer, and they didn't care about the little man. That trickle-down shit, that never worked. That's not going to happen because no one wants to share. And man is it's like when they when Robert Wright had his documentary, and they were actually interviewing a multimillionaire, and the guy says, "Look, I only wear one pair of jeans. I can't wear 20 pair of jeans." He said, "We really don't spend half the money that we have.
Right.
We could do it. You just got a lot of guys who don't want to. They don't want to share."
Oh, yeah, it's the mentality of I got mine.
Yeah, and the thing is, the book, The Acquaintance of Wealth, it showed how primitive accumulation of how they took things from the farmers and everything. I actually talked to, you saw the 2008, was that the recession? Was that the 2008 recession that we had where the bubble burst?
Uh-huh. Right.
Do you know that there are people who actually believe that it's the consumer's fault?
Oh, right, of course.
They say, "Oh yeah, they were stupid. They should have took the loan." No, dude, you shouldn't have went in and conned these guys like this.
Right.
Well, they should have known what they were getting into. And yet you took the so-called smart people took those loans and did what? Put them into our stock market. They were bad loans, and they knew that they were bad loans, and you almost bankrupt the country. Who got screwed? The consumer. Yep. And Trump is continuously taking it on.
And we know that minority home buyers were given the subprime loans, even if they would have qualified for a good loan. You know? Yeah. It's all bullshit.
One other thing that we were talking about before the show, as long as we're talking about the Trump budget and things that are getting cut, the NEA, National Endowment of the Arts, National Endowment for Humanities, are off the table under the new Trump budget. However, both of those put together, less expensive than what it costs for a year of Secret Service protection of Trump Tower, because Melania.
It's definitely a lot.
I heard someone this week say that basically this is the biggest school voucher program, spending $148 billion a year. Just so
million.
So Barron Trump can go to the private school of his choice.
Whereas Obama's kids didn't cost you that much.
No, but they, that was a problem because they were black kids going to a private school. Yeah. But the other thing, I think if you want to defend the spending on that, you can't just look at it as a school voucher program. This money is also going to prevent domestic violence by keeping Melania miles and miles away from Donald Trump.
Right. And in this case, while he probably doesn't own the school, he owns the building where the Secret Service is having to rent space at Trump Tower.
And I'm sure they're not getting the friends and family discount.
Oh, no. So he's making money off of that, besides the
waste. And he's charging the American public for it?
Absolutely.
But the important thing to remember is that there is no conflict of interest.
Yes.
Right.
And this is
emoluments clause?
Yes.
Sorry, Virginia, there is no emoluments
clause. As the lawyer said, we wrote this, we know how it is. We basically write the laws and everything else. Yeah. And we put it in a way we purposely, talking to other lawyers, they purposely put that information in a way that you will not understand it, and they do.
Oh yeah, I worked in legal for a couple of years, and I realized that law school is basically it's a language course, much like Pimsleur or Rosetta Stone, but you're learning legalese, which is a very expensive language that you write things in so that people who speak English will not understand them.
Right.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a very good way to put it.
Redlining contracts, I'm going over stuff and saying, why don't we simplify the language and just say what we're trying to say? Well, we can't do that because of the and that is what lawyers do. They speak another language that we are basically paying them to translate for us. Wow.
So we're going to talk about wiretapping?
We are, but before we do that, one of our special features that we have on the show every week made even more special today because on behalf of everyone involved with the show, particularly the three of us in this room, we would like to wish a very happy birthday to Let's Be Treasonable contributor Will Durst.
Happy birthday, Will.
So happy birthday, Will. And because it is traditional to give someone a gift on their birthday, but we are not about tradition here at Let's Be Treasonable. Let's have Will give us a gift with this week's Burst of Durst.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice words about the screwy shenanigans known as March Madness that currently has the nation transfixed like a kitten in front of a fishbowl full of hyperactive minnows. It's crazy out there, totally madcap, nuttier than the hospitality suite at a squirrel convention, as kooky as a skateboard rack in an assisted living facility. And we Americans are finding it nearly impossible to turn off the television and look away from the abundance of backcourt violations, errant passes, and crowd hysteria. But alas, this isn't about basketball. We're talking about the wild, weird, and wacky machinations emanating from the Trump White House, which has spent the last month hoisting crazed half-court hook shots while backpedaling and playing defense. Badly. First, both Muslim bans got blocked. Next, what should have been a slam dunk, Trump Care, was criticized by both sides, the officials, and the crowd, as looking suspiciously like Obamacare without that whole care part. Then, with the clock winding down on its credibility, both the House and Senate Intelligence Committees announced finding no evidence to President Trump's early morning accusations that he was bugged by former President Obama. Whiffing on his free throws, press spokesman Sean Spicer tried to single-handedly keep the ball in play, but got caught double-teamed on the baseline with no one to pass to because Kellyanne was back in the locker room nursing a strained microwave. The president himself was little help, demanding to play point guard without any knowledge of the game, the playbook, or what was at stake. After setting records for double dribbles, turnovers, and air balls, he committed so many flagrant fouls he should have been kicked out of the game or at least sent back to the bench. But he wasn't, because unfortunately for his team and everyone watching, he's also the coach. For Let's Be Treasonable, I'm Will Durst.
Thank you very much, Will. Always a pleasure, and happy birthday and many, many more to you. So Will brought up the wiretapping.
Right.
You brought it up. Again, for those who have been living under a rock or are not aware of what's going on, Donald Trump tweeted at 6 in the morning that Obama wiretapped Trump Tower during the election, after which the backpedaling began. Although it's not backpedaling, it's clarification. Sean Spicer said over the past week that, well, when he said wiretapping, he didn't mean wiretapping. And when he said Obama did it, he didn't mean Obama did it.
Right.
And, one of the Trump, during an interview with Bret Baier from Fox News, said that after noticing an article in the New York Times and commentary by Bret Baier, Trump said that he told himself, wait a minute, there's a lot of wiretapping being talked about, which to me, makes me wonder how much ego does it take to translate a lot of wiretapping going on into I'm being wiretapped. And then Trump continued. He said, I think you're going to find some very interesting items coming to the forefront over the next 2 weeks, which leads me to wonder how soon will Sean Spicer be sent out to say, well, when he said very interesting, he didn't mean very interesting. And when he said forefront, he didn't mean forefront. And the next 2 weeks, that's really just, it's a goal of a timetable. It doesn't really mean anything. Which I guess the bigger question what does it mean when the president speaks? Like, why?
It means
if
nothing.
If what he says has no meaning,